Let me tell you about some of the reasons why I love living in Louisiana. I've lived here most of my life. I did move away twice, once to Texas and once to Kentucky, but both times I ended up right back here at home. There are things that I love about living in Louisiana that I just didn't get in those other states, and we're going to talk about some of those things in this video. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Shaun Ramos, and this is Living in Louisiana, where we talk all about moving to and living in Louisiana, and specifically the Greater Baton Rouge area. I am a licensed realtor, and while I love making these videos for you guys, what I really love is to help you with your real estate needs. So that number that's popping up at the bottom of your screen right now, I'm the guy that's going to answer every single call, text, or email that comes through, and I love having those conversations with you guys. So if you have any specific questions or needs when it comes to making a move to Louisiana, don't hesitate to reach out. Now, I've had somewhat of a love-hate relationship with Louisiana, and it's mostly love, which is the reason that I'm still here today. When I think about Louisiana, certain things come to mind, like good people, really good food, mostly good weather, sports and outdoors, and just fun and celebration. So let's dig into some of those things and get a little more specific on what it is that I really love about living in Louisiana. So we'll start with the people that live in Louisiana. So Southern hospitality is a real thing. The state is filled with really just genuinely good people. And don't get me wrong, there are some assholes out there just like in any other area, but for the most part, it's good people. Now, if you want a quick example of this, if you go to an LSU game and you go walking around the parking lots where everybody's tailgating, if you go out of your way to have some conversations with people, you'll walk away from there with some new best friends. All these people out there are just willing to take in a perfect stranger and share all of their food and all of their beer and just have a good time together. Where you really see this come out is if there's some type of natural disaster, like a hurricane or a flood, or somebody's house burns down. People will come out of the woodworks to help a complete stranger. A prime example of that is the Cajun Navy that was kind of formed itself after Hurricane Katrina, where just locals with boats came in from all over and they ran to the problem to help rescue people and get people to a safer place. And I've seen it time and time again. When certain people have an issue here, other people will jump right in and help out any way they can. And that goes with everything from helping people get out of the bad situation, helping people with the cleanup afterwards, helping with food and water. So it's not just when we have issues in Louisiana either. When any of the surrounding states have any of the same type issues, people from here will get together and do everything they can to help those states too. The next thing is the food. I will argue with anybody that Louisiana has some of the best food in the world. Now, of course, when you think about Louisiana cuisine, you're gonna think about all the typical, Cajun and Creole dishes that everybody knows about. While Louisiana does have some amazing restaurants to choose from, it's shocking to me just how many people can cook restaurant quality food at home. But people use food here as just a way to gather with friends and family. One of my absolute favorite things about living in Louisiana, and I know I'm not alone in this, are the crawfish boils. During crawfish season, every weekend, friends and family will get together to have these big parties. And there are tons of different ways to boil crawfish, and probably every single one of them tastes good. It's just one of my favorite things because the food's really good. You're hanging out with close friends and family, the beer is flowing, and it's just all around good time. But even aside from the restaurants and the really great home chefs and the crawfish boils, even the gas station food is good in Louisiana. There's a truck stop that's right down the street from where I live, and every single morning you go in there and the line's backed up all the way through the store for people waiting for breakfast. And even the food trucks. I know this guy Blaze with a food truck called the Big Cheesy. Look this guy up and go find him in Baton Rouge because you're not going to believe some of the stuff he's putting out. And there are multiple taco trucks that sit outside of grocery stores in Denham Springs, and I'll put those up against any tacos out there. Now, the weather in Louisiana, some people love it, some people hate it. I go back and forth. It just depends on what time of year it is. I like the weather cool, but not super cold. I like the thought of snow, but I kind of just want to see it out the window. I don't really want to deal with snow. And for both of those reasons, Louisiana is a good place to be because we generally have really mild winters. It's warm here most of the year, and there are a couple months during the summer where it just gets brutally hot. But because it stays warm most of the year and we do get a lot of rain, it tends to stay pretty green, and it's perfect if If you're a golfer, you can play golf pretty much all year long. Now, my oldest daughter plays softball just about all year long, and there are some weekends where we're out there and it's really cold in the morning during the fall and into the winter. But for the most part, it's really comfortable weather for playing ball. And we don't necessarily get to enjoy all 4 seasons like a lot of places do. The summer just is what it is. It's going to be really hot. And when you get into the fall, there will be some nice days. There will be some really hot days. There will be some really cold days. It's just a mix. And the temperature fluctuates through the fall, into the winter, and actually even into the spring. Just to give you an example, right now it's winter time. So last week we had high temperatures in the 20s and lows in the teens, which for South Louisiana is super cold. But yesterday, 79 degrees, it's warm outside. So there's a lot of fluctuation in temperature. It goes back and forth. You're gonna use the AC and the heater back and forth. But for the most part, it's more warm weather than it is cold weather. I think for the most part, people here enjoy that. Another great thing about Louisiana is the affordability. You're gonna be able to stretch your dollar here a little more than you can in other markets that are similar. We use gas prices for an example. Just recently, I filled my truck up. I think it was $2.69 a gallon. Just out of curiosity, I checked the prices online in California and found that the average price is still about $4.50 a gallon. And I drive a V8 Toyota Tundra that has very poor gas mileage, so those lower gas prices really do come in handy. But along with the gas prices, other things are just generally more affordable here. So that's just things like groceries, healthcare, utilities, but the biggest factor is housing. When you're comparing prices here in Louisiana to the national average, you're gonna find that house prices are cheaper and rents are cheaper. And while we're not like some of those states that don't have a state income tax, because we do, our property taxes are really pretty reasonable, especially when you consider the fact that they have a homestead exemption that the first $75,000 of the value of your property is tax exempt if it's your personal residence. And they also have further exemptions for disabled veterans, which is really nice. And for senior citizens, once you hit a certain age, they will actually freeze your property taxes so they can't go up. Now, the next thing I love about Louisiana, and I know a lot of other people share this thought, are the sports. If you want professional sports, then you're gonna have to go to New Orleans, where you've got the Saints and the Pelicans if you're into the NFL or the NBA. But where I'm at in the Baton Rouge market, it's definitely a college town. LSU football is going to be the main attraction here, but LSU also offers some other great sports like baseball, basketball, and even softball is really popular. Another great thing about Louisiana are the outdoor activities. There's a reason that Louisiana is called Sportsman's Paradise. If you're into hunting or fishing, you're gonna love it here. Our deer season starts October 1st and goes all the way through the end of January. So you've got 4 full months to hunt. And on top of that, you got some of the smaller game stuff like turkey, squirrels, rabbit, dove, ducks. And if you like to fish, this is gonna be like heaven. It doesn't matter whether you're looking for freshwater or saltwater, there's something for everybody between all the ponds and lakes and rivers and marshes in Louisiana. You're not gonna run out of places to fish. And it's not limited to just hunting and fishing. If you're into kayaking, camping, bike riding, mountain biking, anything like that where you're outdoors, Louisiana's gonna be great for you. And then you've got some great opportunities because of the economy here in Louisiana. There are lots of thriving industries here, so there are lots of ways to make a good living. From healthcare to education to petrochemical and construction. You probably wouldn't think so, but even the entertainment industry is big here in Louisiana. Lots of big movies and TV shows have been filmed and produced right here in Baton Rouge. And of course, I talked about some of the fun and celebration in Louisiana, and the best way that I could think of to describe this is to talk a little bit about Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is kind of a big deal in Louisiana, so when most people think of Mardi Gras, they think of New Orleans, and that's kind of where everything got started. And the New Orleans area does have lots of big parades and balls that everybody looks forward to every year. But it's not just limited to New Orleans. Baton Rouge has some really great parades and events also, and just about every little town that you go to is going to have their own parades. So you'll find that there are plenty of family events out there, but there are also some that you're not going to want to take the kids to. When I was younger, I used to love to get out on Bourbon Street and throw down, but now that I'm a dad and a husband, you'll find me at some of the more family-friendly events. And when you talk about Mardi Gras, you have to talk about king cakes too. If you haven't had the opportunity to taste some of the different king cakes down here during Mardi Gras time, do yourself a favor and make it a point to do it. It was always really fun because the deal was they would put this little plastic baby inside the cake somewhere. So if you would take a king cake to, say, your office, whoever got the slice with the baby in it would be responsible to bring the next king cake. But I'm assuming that somewhere somebody choked on the little plastic baby, because now they don't put them inside the cake anymore. They just kind of set it off to the side. So to me, it takes away some of the fun of the king cake, but they're still really delicious. So those are some of the things that I really love about living in Louisiana. And no matter how many times during those hot, brutal summers that I've kind of joked about moving away, I'm still here. If you think you'd love to live in Louisiana, then that number that's popping up at the bottom of your screen right now, don't hesitate to reach out. I am the guy that answers every single call, text, or email that comes through. Days, nights, or weekends, it doesn't matter. I love having those conversations with you guys. Whether you need to make a move right now or you're thinking about just possibly doing something in the future, just give me a call. If you haven't done it yet, go ahead right now and subscribe and click that notification bell, because I'm putting out videos just like this one every single week where we're talking all about moving to and living in the Greater Baton Rouge area. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you on the next one.